Hello there and welcome. My name is Lindsay Norman. I am a Diamond leader with doTERRA, and I'm super excited that you've decided to start your doTERRA journey. We are going to be going through some onboarding training with you today, so I want to make sure that you have a notebook and pen or something that you can be jotting notes down with. I will be making sure that we go kind of section by section. We're going to stop at times so that you have time to kind of gather your thoughts, look at your to-do list, think about ways or reasons that you might want to connect with your leader. There are definitely going to be times throughout this training that you are going to want to connect with your leader, or perhaps you might even be watching this onboarding with your leader, and any of those things are great. So I want you just to be prepared that you are going to be taking some notes here and really getting the best place to start for your doTERRA business. So I'm super excited about that. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to share my screen here. All right. Okay, now I will make sure that you have access to this that we go to today. We're going to go through a resource. And one of the things that we try to do on our team is we try to make sure that you have every resource that you see, you have access to it. So when you have your own new team member and you want them to go through this onboarding training, you can share this replay with them, or you can also, or you can share the resource that we're going to go through today. I'm going to make sure it's in the description of the YouTube link. So if you want to find anything that I refer to today, I'm going to try to put all of those links in the YouTube description. So it's very easy for you or your new team member to be able to catch all of that information. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. The most important thing for you probably to know if you are taking this onboarding training is you actually want to build a business. And in order to do that in doTERRA, there really are just two things that you need to do. It is going to be enroll customers and find business builders and sharers. Essentially, everything that you do when you're looking at how do I spend my time, what are income producing activities, these two things are the things. This is where you should be spending all of your time. Everything should be going into these two buckets. Okay. If you are doing that, you have time well spent. All right. So we're going to dive into more. What does it look like? We're going to talk about enrolling customers first. We've been crazy successful at this on our doTERRA team, not just enrolling customers, but then what do you do with them when you get them? So doTERRA has a massively incredible 73% customer retention rate, which is just unheard of in the industry. And really that should encourage you so much with your business, because that lets you know the customer loves the product. And this is a residual based comp plan and business model. So the beautiful thing about that is every time you have a new customer, if they're going to be ordering regularly, that is how you build your residual income. So we as a team really got together and looked at how do we care for customers? One, how do we enroll them? How do we take care of them? And then how do we really make sure that in the long run, they really love this doTERRA journey and it's making a big difference in their lives. So what we've done is we've created this customer success process or customer retention process. And so really what we're doing here is we're learning how to effectively enroll customers and maintain a high customer retention rate through our 4-step customer retention process. And this is step number 1. Now, all of these fit under enrolling customers, okay, or just taking care of your customers. So step number 1 is going to be connecting customers to doTERRA. So I love to look at my role as I've got the world of people who have health issues. We know that babies have health issues. We know that men and women have health issues. We know the elderly. So literally, if you're looking at North America in general, we know that our diet is not good at all. And in fact, 70 to 80% of people have some kind of a health issue, whether it's acid reflux or prediabetes or ongoing fatigue or inflammation or sleep issues. Everybody deals with something. What I love about that is so we have all these people who are dealing with all of these things on this hand, and we have doTERRA over here. And guess where you fit? Right in the middle. So you are the one that gets to connect people to product. And that is really what we want to do in step number 1. We want to connect customers to product. So there are a lot of ways that you can do that. As we are launching you, we really want you to get good at, and your leader is going to help you with this, workshops and one-on-one conversations. Now, when you launch, your leader is actually going to work with you specifically on creating a launch plan that includes workshops in a way that works best for you, that you can feel good about and that you can feel confident about. So workshops are going to be huge. And actually, if you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to say, I don't know anything about the product, you are actually in the right place, on the right team. We have a workshop that's already completed for you. And also your leader is going to do a lot of those first workshops on your behalf so that you are able to spend time learning at the same time as you're starting to grow your business. So we don't want you to ever feel like you have to be an expert in doTERRA before you start growing your business. So your leader is going to be so important for you in this whole journey as you're onboarding. So your leader is going to help you with workshops, and you are basically going to join and invite guests to those. And we also have team workshops as well regularly. So you might even ask your leader like, hey, do we do team workshops? How often are we doing those? When is the next one? But you might want to check that out. Okay. But at the very least, you will have a leader who will work with you on personalized workshops. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to look at is one-on-one conversations. Now, again, this might be another one that terrifies you a little bit, especially if you are new to doTERRA. Perhaps you are new to the product and you're like, I just don't feel like I am an expert at this yet. And that is no problem. That's actually where I started. That's where a lot of us started, where we were brand new to the product. But what we really recognized was that the doTERRA business opportunity was amazing. And we saw the customer retention rate was so high that we were like, okay, I'm going to figure this out along the way. So as we figured things out, we actually put everything in resources and tools for everybody else who would be coming onto our team. So one-on-one conversations are essentially ones where you are helping somebody, you're asking people about their health, and then you are also guiding them along the way to really figuring out where is a good place to help support them best when they enroll as a customer. Now, if you're like, I'm not really sure what I should be saying in a one-on-one conversation, go ahead and click on this button. And what you're going to find is a resource that guides you through one-on-one conversation tips. So it's going to help you understand, like, how do I create one-on-one opportunities? And that's just a conversation, right? It's also going to give you some good verbiage on, what happens if I find myself in a one-on-one conversation where somebody is like sharing with me about their child's allergies or their allergies, or maybe they're sharing with me about a sickness that they've had or that they keep getting sick. One of our favorite questions on our team is to ask people, are you open to natural solutions? And so that's something we've gotten really good at. Are you open to natural solutions? Now, some people will say, oh yeah, I've actually tried, and they'll start listing off these natural products. One of the follow-up questions that I love to ask is, how are those products working for you? Do you feel like you're getting, do you feel like your body's getting supported from that and that it's making a difference? So many times people will say, well, no. Well, that really opens up a door of saying, would you ever be open to looking at a couple of options that could be really great to support your body? And so there's ways to navigate through that one-on-one that we can definitely help you with, your leader can help you with. And then this resource is also amazing to support you as well. So these are just some great questions to help navigate a one-on-one conversation. So these resources are here already for you. Okay. So one-on-one conversations are going to be great. Workshops are going to be great. We also know that another great place to share will be on social media if you want to. Some people get really excited about sharing on social media. Other people do not. And what I would say is find your niche, find what makes you excited, find what makes you inspired to share and make a difference in people's lives, and then work with your leader to find out the best way to start for you. Okay. We do find, I will tell you, our track record on our team is we see a huge, amazing launch for people. We launch people into momentum when they get equipped with workshops, and when they get equipped with one-on-one conversations. That's where we've seen the greatest success. And then of course, after 30 to 60 days after that launch process, we really, start looking at, well, how does this business going to work best for you? But we really do love to make sure everybody is trained and equipped well with workshops and one-on-ones. Now, with the one-on-one conversation, I know sometimes it's helpful to see all of that list, that resource that I just showed you, but it's also helpful to see role plays. So one of the things that we have done is on a previous team meeting, we decided to role play what it would look like to actually use that resource and have a one-on-one conversation so that you could see it in more organic or natural or human terms. So you can go ahead and click on this button and it will bring you to that team meeting. There are actually 2 role plays that we do with a one-on-one conversation. So now is a great time. I'm going to go ahead and pause. If you want to look at all of the notes that you just wrote down, or perhaps you haven't written down any notes yet, I would recommend you write down a note to reach out to your leader to say, plan my launch classes. Okay. And learn more about the one-on-one conversation that is so powerful in doTERRA. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick pause. You take a quick pause, look at your to-dos right now, and maybe highlight whatever you want to do first. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's move on. Remember, we're in the 4-step customer retention process. And what we did in step number 1 is we introduced customers to doTERRA products. Now let's look at steps 2, 3, and 4. After you've introduced a customer, which you guys, a customer can be a friend, a family member, it could be somebody who's been referred to you, it could be a new person that you met at work where now you share in common that they like to work out. It can be a male, it can be a female, it does not matter. Like, anybody can be introduced to doTERRA products. So here's what's pretty cool. After that, after you kind of introduce them to the product or you've asked them questions, step number 2 is the wellness consult. Now, this is before the first order. So just so you know that kind of the timing. And the reason why we put this in here as a step number 2 is because if you do things like Zoom classes, you will need to schedule a wellness consult. So in a Zoom class, we usually do the class. The class is anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, depending on what class you are doing. And then after that, we always have people take a survey. And then we reach out to them within 24 to 48 hours of the class to schedule their wellness consult. And this is really just an opportunity for you to ask them questions about maybe areas of their health that they would love to see improved, how they like to continue on their health journey. So really, this is that consult of like, how can we best assist you for like a first order with what your health goals are? Now, you might say, well, didn't I just do that in a one-on-one conversation? Yes. So if you do a one-on-one conversation or you're doing an in-home class, the wellness consult is actually part of that. So like when you're in a one-on-one conversation and somebody brings up that they are, I don't know, they've had acid reflux for a really long time. And you ask them questions like, well, are you open to natural solutions? Have you ever tried natural solutions? And you go down this road and you're asking them questions, you end up kind of doing this wellness consult with this one-on-one conversation. Likewise, if you do an in-home class, you are going to do the class. And then when people go to check out, before they check out, you're doing a wellness consult with them. This wellness consult allows you to help them prioritize where do they want to start first. Okay. So that's step number 2. So at that point, they then place their order. So now they become a customer with doTERRA. Now, step number 3 comes when their order arrives. So when they get their order, they've got a box of products. And now we do what we call open the box. And that is an opportunity for us to connect with them about what is in their box. And so what we're doing in this step is we're connecting with them and we're saying, what did you buy? Why did you buy it? And how do you use it? We're going to go over those things with them. We are also going to go over the customer loyalty reward program in step number 3. Don't worry, you're not going to need to remember all this because I'm going to show you a really awesome resource in just one second. Now, step number 4 is kind of the final part of what we have here for our customer retention process. But there is other ways that you can continue to serve your customers as you go. But this really is where we wrap up this process right here, and we call it the check-in. And essentially, we sell so many supplements on our team. We have found that really working with people on baseline health, especially with their first order, allows them to see a day-to-day difference and improvement with their health. But with doing that, sometimes people might have some side effects where they might get a little more dehydrated when they try new supplements. So we find that by putting in step number 4, which is check in with your customer like a week after they get their product. So once they've started their products, this is a great time to check in with your customer and say, hey, just checking to see how is your body responding to everything? Have you had a chance to use everything? We know customers absolutely love when you check in with them to make sure that everything is going well. Sometimes we just need to encourage customers to increase their water intake, and then they feel well loved and well served. So you might say, okay, what should I actually be saying in each of these consults? Or what should I be saying when I check in with the customer? Let's look at the resource that is going to show you steps 2 through 4, everything you need to ask and know for those steps. I'm going to go ahead and click on that right now. Okay, step number 1, of course, we already talked about. We're connecting a customer to a product. Step number 2 is the wellness consult. So on this resource, it's going to show you what is a wellness consult. Now, this is really great. I love this because it says if they attended a class, these are the questions that you are going to ask them. Now, but let's say they weren't at a class and you find yourself in a one-on-one conversation with them. That's where the second section is really nice, because this is saying if you're starting a one-on-one conversation organically, or you're scheduling a one-on-one as a result of a social media post. These are the following questions that you should be asking. So I find it's really helpful. I actually have my own notebook just for customers, so that when I'm talking to customers and doing a wellness consult, I'm actually writing down answers for all of these questions that I have for them. And it helps me get a really good idea of what are some goals that they have for their health, maybe what are some areas that they want some support, and then I can make some really good recommendations for them based on the ways that they answer these questions, okay? Now, this is the wellness consult. When you get to step number 3 and we're doing open the box, this is going to walk you through exactly what you need to do on the open the box. You're going to go over the products. Remember, you're going to go over what they bought, why they bought it, and how to use it, okay? And then, of course, you're going to ask them what other questions they have. You're going to go over the LRP program, which is our loyalty program. So that is going to give you this breakdown right here as well. And then, of course, step number 4 is that check-in that I just mentioned, checking in to find out, hey, how are you feeling? How is your body responding? Now, do you feel any panic at this point? Let me stop my screen here, my screen share here for just a second. You know what's so beautiful is your leader is actually going to do the first 3 to 5 wellness consults and open the boxes for you. You are not going to do those on your own. We learn by immersion on our team. And what that means is your leader is going to be doing these things on your behalf so that you can grow your business right away and learn. Remember what I said at the beginning. We don't want you to feel like you have to be an expert in order to grow your business. We want to coach you and show you and allow you to learn by immersion as you grow your business. So don't worry, this might seem like, okay, that's a lot of questions to look at or a lot to ask, but once you see your leader do it 3 to 5 times, it will be amazing how fast you're like, okay, I'm seeing consistency here. I'm picking this up quickly, and your leader will do as many of those as it takes for you to feel confident and excited about what you're doing. So that is no problem at all. So use this resource, use this question sheet. If you want to print it out, that's absolutely a brilliant and wonderful thing to do. Okay. So that is the customer success process. Let me go back again. We're going to go back to a shared screen. So here's what we just went through. We just are going to recap steps 1 through 4 of the customer retention process. Step number 1, You're connecting your person to a product with doTERRA. And you're going to do that through, especially when you're onboarding, workshops and one-on-one conversations. Step number 2, you're going to do a wellness consult. And actually, your leader is probably going to do that. Your leader is going to do that for you. So you're going to ask questions and you're going to evaluate their health priorities. Step number 3, your leader is going to do the open the box on your behalf. You are going to be there, of course. You are going to watch, you're going to take notes, you're going to learn, but they're going to do the first 3 to 5 open the box consults for you. And this is where you're really going to help the customer know how to use the products they purchased and get introduced to our loyalty reward program, which is amazing. And then, of course, step number 4, you're going to be finding out, you're going to be checking in with your customer and how their products are going and how their body is responding. Okay. This is our customer success process. Now, remember at the beginning when I said there's really 2 things that you need to do to grow this business. It's enrolling customers and it's finding builders and sharers. We just went through our customer retention process for you. You are not going to learn how to do this immediately. Like, this is something you're going to grow into and learn over time with your leader's help. When you nail this process, you are going to see that every customer that you have, you are going to really be earning a residual income that's going to build to something absolutely incredible over time. So as quickly as you can learn this and apply this process, it will make a huge difference for your business building. Okay. Now is a great time for you to stop and relook at what is this customer retention process? What questions do you have about it? What do you want to ask your leader? So connect with your leader on this customer retention process to really make sure that you guys are on the same page. Your leader has walked many people through this process. And if your leader happens to be new, he or she will be pulling in their leader to be modeling these things for you both. So we are very much hands-on here. We want you to have every support that you need to grow with confidence here. So go ahead and press pause. I'm going to take a water break before we continue on with our onboarding training. All right, let's keep going. We are getting to the part of the training that I absolutely love. I get super excited about this, and that is going to be finding builders and sharers. So when you hear us using words like builders and partners, we kind of use builders and partners interchangeably on our team. But essentially, builders are individuals who want to grow a doTERRA business. And we want to give you tips to help you think about who you want to partner with in this business. So if you have not had a chance to yet, you need to put this on your to-do list. You need to connect with your leader about looking at the doTERRA build guide so that you know how to build correctly and build your organization in doTERRA well. So we highly recommend that as you are looking, because you don't need tons of business builders on your team to grow a massive and amazing doTERRA organization. And that's why it's really important for you to know, what should I be looking for when I'm looking for a business builder? Now, you will take business builders on what we call your front line. You will take up to 6. We generally don't put 6 right away on the front line, but that doesn't mean that's not right for you. But in general, let your leader coach you through that. But who you put on your front line, we call that beachfront property. That is super important. Anybody who's going to go on your front line, you really need to make sure they are working at your level and above. And you really need to make sure that you are sure that that is the right person to be in that place. The person who is on your front line, you'll be working with indefinitely. You'll be working very closely with them. That's why we want to make sure that we are offering these tips for you about a business builder who would go on your front line. Now, you are going to have other builders in your organization who are there, and within your organization, so just because you're bringing a builder into your organization does not necessarily mean that they're going to go on your front line, but this would apply to those you're going to put on your front line as well. Okay, so tip number 1. When you're looking for a business builder, you are looking for someone who has a need or a desire of some kind. So they're going to want to have a financial need. Maybe they have a purpose need, but there's a need there. Maybe they want to be involved with something that's bigger than themselves, right? Or something that just helps them be with adults. Like whatever that is, there should be a need or a desire for impact potentially, maybe a desire for increased income potentially. So there needs to be that desire that is there that would make them want to get up every day and build the business. Tip number 2, you want to look for someone who has influence. And while this does and can include social media, it doesn't have to. What I love to think about is someone with influence when they walk into a room. Let's say they're at a big family reunion. Someone with influence usually has people around them. They have people coming to them, asking them questions, wanting to know what, basically this is a person where when they walk into the room, people listen to them. So are they a leader in their local community? Are they a leader in their church? Are they someone that their family members go to for advice? Like what kind of influence does this person have? You want to look at that. Step number 3 or tip number 3. You want to look at a potential builder and you want to have very honest conversations with them, especially when they're looking at, is doTERRA a right fit for them to build a business? One of the questions that you want to ask is how many hours a week do you see them, do they see themselves working? So if you're like, oh my goodness, this person is amazing. They have a huge need, financial need. They have tons of influence. And then when you ask them the question, how many hours do you think you have to work? And they say, well, about 2 to 4 a week. That is not somebody that you put on a front line. Okay. So you want somebody who's going to work at your level or above. So builders in general are working 20 plus hours a week. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be a little bit of flex there, but in general, most people who want to build, and if they're going to be on your front line, especially, they want to work at 20 hours or above. So don't feel bad about asking that question. By asking that question, it gives clarity to you and it gives clarity to them about what they want. So always ask, how many hours do they see themselves working? Tip number 4. Here is another thing that you want to ask your potential builder. Remember how I said you want to make sure you've seen the build guide, the doTERRA build guide? It is important that any new potential builder has seen that build guide, that you've walked through it with them, or we have a team resource that's a video. So I walk them through the build guide and how our comp plan and business model is set up. So you can certainly use that tool and send that to them if you do not feel comfortable with sharing the build guide. But after they watch that, you want to ask them, what rank do you see yourself building to? Because if you are looking at this potential builder and saying, oh, they're going to be at diamond or they're going to be at blue diamond, and they say, well, really, I just want, if I could get to silver, that would be so great. You're going to realize really quickly that, okay, maybe my front line is not the best place for them. There is always a place for them in your organization, but you want to make sure that anybody you're putting on your front line is going to work at your level or above. So you want to make sure, as I mentioned here, your level or above, that they're committed, that they are capable, that they have a need, and that they have influence. Now, that's really, you want to be really, really careful about that and strong in these tips, especially for people that you're putting on your front line. But here is the thing to remember. There is a place for everyone in your organization, everyone, whether they work part-time, full-time, there is always a place for everyone in your organization. The tips here regarding builders really relates to who are you putting on your front lines or even on your partner's front lines, those builder spots. What are the kinds of people that you're looking for? So just make sure that you really understand that. This is a great place. I would say if you've got questions about finding builders, how to do that, take a pause here and write those questions down and connect with your leader. Now, before you do that, or if you, let's say you've already paused it and you're coming back to me here, I want to add one more thing on this finding builders section. I highly recommend that right now you take a piece of paper and you write down your top 7 to 10 business builders that it would be a dream if you could have them on your front line. So write down 7 to 10, don't overthink it. Don't think of all the reasons why they wouldn't say yes to you, but if you could partner with any 7 to 10 people, who would those be? So write those down now, take a quick pause, and we're going to come back for the very last part of our training. Okay. Let's finish up here. It's really important that you understand and know your resources to grow your doTERRA business. We've already gone through some resources that you have for onboarding and getting to know how do you have a really strong customer retention process? How do you know how to find good builders? But we also want you to know what resources are available even for product. So your leader is your number one resource, especially in the first 30 to 60 days. And it is through your leader that you're also going to find other resources as you go. But we always want to make sure that we keep things nice and simple for people who are starting. A clear mind creates a confident mind, and a confident mind can get excited and create momentum. If we create chaos for you with too much information at the beginning, then we always know a chaotic mind says no. So you're going to learn a lot from your leader over the next 30 to 60 days. You're going to learn about more resources. So stay tuned on that. If you're like, I want more, I want more, I want more, you are going to get more, but we want to start you in a spot that's doable. So keep in mind, your leader is your best resource your first 30 to 60 days. They're going to assist with your questions. They're going to offer shadowing opportunities. They're going to help you with your first classes, your first one-on-ones, consults, all of that. Okay. Your second resource is going to be getting an app. So there are a couple great apps out there, but I find that it's really helpful to have an app, especially for product. This can come in very handy when you are having conversations with people. And let's say somebody says to you, well, I've heard tea tree is really good. What do you use it for? If you're like, I don't know, you pull out the app, it's going to give you the top uses for tea tree. And then you can go back to that person and say, well, it looks here like tea tree is used best for acne. It's great for skin. It's great as a disinfectant or whatever. You can give all of those uses for tea tree by having the app on your phone. The other thing you can do is you can actually look up ailments on the app. So let's say that you're working with somebody and their son has pink eye. Then what you can do is you can say, you know what, let me look up pink eye really quick in my app and see what products they recommend to help with pink eye. So there are several really good apps out there. I list a few for you here. Modern Essentials Plus is one option. Essential Oils Education, that's EOE Books, is another one. And then, of course, there's the Essential Life app. Now, all of these have a minimal cost. I want to say that they range anywhere from $3.99 a year to $9.99 a year, but this is a business expense that you can write off, and then you always have product information on the go. So I would highly recommend stopping now, finding the app that is best for you. We did list these in priority order based on recommendations that have been given to us from other advocates who use these different apps. So go ahead and check that out and download an app now. If you've got a really great customer as well, who's really loving their health journey and they're excited about using the product, you can also recommend these apps for them as well. Any customer or advocate can use these apps to help knowing what product recommendation to use or what the products do. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, some final housekeeping things for you. This is really important. It relates to how you get paid. You need to write this down. You need to star it. You need to highlight it, but you need to make sure that you have a 100 PV order in your cart at all times. This is going to be a loyalty reward cart, a loyalty reward order. Because you get paid out every week from your fast start bonuses. And you do not get paid out if you do not have at least a 100 PV LRP. Okay, so that means 100 PV is point value, loyalty reward order at all times. So check with your leader. Your leader knows this full well, and they can help you with that. If you were wanting to learn more about how do I structure my organization, what is this thing about PVs and things like that, we have a really great training video on placements and order amounts and things like that. At the end of every month, it's actually really cool. You have control over your organization. So when you enroll 5 new customers or 8 new customers or 15 new customers in a month, you actually have control over where you place those customers in your organization. which is really cool because you can actually help other leaders rank advance, which can help you rank advance as well by placing customers and volume in different places in your organization. Now, you don't need to be a master of that at all, but if you're like, oh, that's very interesting, that really intrigues me, then I would absolutely watch this training video and then connect with your leader. The other thing you're going to want to do is set up direct deposit right away, because you want to get paid, right? And you're going to be able to do that when you log into your back office and go under my profile. So, and then under my profile, there will be a place for you to update your direct deposit information. The other thing that I really love, it's been such a game changer in this business, is the ability to send a cart to a potential customer. So we're going to talk very briefly about this, but remember earlier on in our training, we talked about how you can have a one-on-one conversation, or perhaps you have a Zoom class and then you have a wellness consult. You can actually send people the cart of products that you've talked about and that you've narrowed down to. You can send them a cart. We call it the link generator. You are gonna love it. What you do is you can create a cart for your customer. You can add, if you have a special code where they get a free product or a discount, you can add that, and then it generates a link or a QR code, and you can literally send that to your customer, and they can check out and put in all their payment information, and then they can order those products, but they don't have to go to a website to shop around and look and figure out what they're supposed to have, when you actually can create that cart for them and just send that their way. So follow those prompts there, but that is an amazing tool that you absolutely will want to use, and your leader will help show you how to do that. Okay, last two things here that are going to be really important for you to know as you build this business. Remember how customers are super important. Customers and builders are the two ways that you build your business in doTERRA. So these last two things are two ways that doTERRA heavily invests in their customers and making sure that we have a very high customer retention rate. The first one is in the customer referral link. Every one of your customers will have a customer referral link. When they log into their account to place an order, that link actually automatically pops up, and they can grab it right then and there, and they can share it. You can also get it under my account. So your customers can grab that referral link at any time. So let's say you have a customer who is like, oh my goodness, my baby was vomiting days on end, and we started using Digestin and a couple other blends, and now I've told this other mom, and she really wants to get those same oils. Your customer can take his or her referral link and send it to that friend, and that friend can order. When that friend orders off of that referral link, the person who shared their referral link gets 20% back on whatever that order was that was placed in doTERRA points. So your customers can literally share their referral links all the time with friends and family. And when those friends and family create their first order with doTERRA, that your customer gets 20% back on those orders. When they start getting that doTERRA like shopping spree money, essentially, they can use it on anything that they want. Products, shipping, tax. So it acts like doTERRA money, essentially. So the customer referral link is fully funded by doTERRA. So really great, amazing thing there. Customers love it. And it also allows customers to share what they get excited about with their friends and family. And then that enrollment becomes yours. Okay. All right. The other big piece that doTERRA provides is the loyalty reward program. This is really the amazing customer reward program for customers that is like unprecedented. It is so awesome. So I'm going to click on this right here. This is definitely a resource that you are going to want to get familiar with. The LRP program is like a gold standard for customer retention. This is also why we include it on our steps to success, like our customer retention process, in step number 3. So I actually will go through this resource right here when I'm doing my open the box consult. That's step number 3. And we've talked about what products they got, why they got them, how to use them. And now it's time to talk about the LRP. This resource right here is what I pull up, and we literally walk through it to explain what is this loyalty rewards program. So I want you to take time. I'm not going to walk through all of it right now, but I do want you to take time here in just a minute to click on this, to read through it, and to write down any questions that you might have about the loyalty reward program so that you can ask your leader, so that you can get really, really clear on this program. We love sharing this program opportunity with our customers. It benefits and rewards our customers so significantly that it's important that you understand what it is so that you can offer it. doTERRA pays for it. doTERRA sends out the reminders for it every month. My job is simply to offer it as an option to my customers and make sure that they understand the value of it. But doTERRA really takes care of all of the details of it, which is amazing. Okay, go ahead and take a pause. Write down anything that you wanted to write down. Make sure you highlight it. So let's take a pause right now before we head into what are your next steps. Okay. Home stretch right here. There is going to be 2 things that you are going to want to make sure you either have done with your leader already or you are going to do them next. The first one is you want to go over the doTERRA build guide with your leader. You need to know what is possible in doTERRA financially. Okay, so you also want to make sure that you know that and have a vision for it so that you know how to build your organization well as you're growing. So definitely take a look at the rank options, rank advancements in the build guide. Take a look at income potential. All of those numbers that you see in the build guide are real numbers. They're based on real actual averages at every level. So those are not made up. Those are not hopeful income numbers. Those are actual numbers that people are making at those levels. So talk to your leader about that, build your plan for what you want there. And then also you are going to want to create a personalized launch plan to start your business. You are also going to do that with your leader. So now is a great time for you to reach out to your leader and say, I would like to look at the build guide with you to see what the potential is in doTERRA. And I would like to create a personalized launch plan with you that is going to work for me and how I want to do this business. So that is what you're going to do now. Of course, along the way, if you want to look back at any of these resources, we of course want you to do that. And as you're working with your leader, as I mentioned, you're going to see other resources. You're going to see our team page. You're going to see our wellness community. Like, we've got so many things in place for you to build an absolutely incredible business. So tools are not going to be an issue for you. Support is not going to be an issue for you. At the end of the day, what you're going to want to do is look at that build guide, decide where you want to go with this business, and then jump in. The way you are going to spend your time is you're going to spend your time on customers and finding builders and sharers. Now, the last thing that I want to end with here. I've been in the industry for over 10 years. And when I first entered the industry, they described, the company that I was with described our business like you have a bucket and there's a hole in it. And so essentially you're kind of always losing some customers and you're always losing team members. So you essentially have to fill the bucket faster than what's coming out the bottom. So it puts you in this place of hustle and scarcity and in a place of like almost anxiety and panic. And I just want to share with you, that's not how business is done at doTERRA. When you have a bucket, there's no hole in it. So any new customer that you get, that customer is going to build a residual income for you that continues to build in the bucket. When you have a new advocate or a new builder, a new sharer, every time you add a new builder or sharer to your bucket, they're not falling out the bottom. They're going to actually help build the bucket, which essentially is going to build a pipeline for you, a pipeline of income, a pipeline of opportunity. So every effort and everything that you do with your time from now into the future with doTERRA is going to build on itself. It might seem really slow at the beginning. It might seem like I'm putting in a lot of hours and I'm not necessarily seeing income immediately, or at least not the level of income that I want. This doTERRA business is like a real actual business. It takes some time to grow, but what you grow over time, this residual income has massive, massive payoff. So I just want to encourage you as you're starting. I am super glad that you are here. Your leader is glad that you are here. You have everything that you need to be successful. Now it's simply your turn to say, I'm all in. I'm here to put in the effort and the time to make this happen. So good luck to you. And here's to your growing, thriving doTERRA business.